Hello and welcome to the Financial Report. I'm Hailing Chan. Local shares were knocked off their highest close in nearly 2 weeks today by ending 0.7% down. The Hang Seng Index lost 165 points to finish at 22,299. Turnover was $73 billion. The benchmark also ended the first quarter on a whimper after the mainland's banking regulator moved to tighten rules over wealth management products. Now let's have a look at today's most active stocks. iShares A50 was 34 cents down. ICBC lost 1 cent. CCB traded 6 cents down. The Bank of China was 2 cents lower. Minsheng Bank was 85 cents down. China Life lost 60 cents. Honghua Group traded 29 cents lower. Tencent was $3.80 down. Sinopec Corp was 4 cents up. And HSBC Holdings was 85 cents lower. Hong Kong dollar exchange rates now: 7.76 to the US dollar, 11.74 to the British pound, 8.24 to 100 Japanese yen, 9.93 to the euro, and 100 Hong Kong dollars is 80 renminbi. In early European trade, the London FTSE is up 34.5 points at 6,422. London gold's buying price is $1,602.41 US dollars an ounce, asking at $1,603.18 an ounce. Over in Frankfurt, the DAX is up by 19 points at 7,808. And in Paris, the CAC is trading nearly 9 points up at 3,720. That's today's financial report. Join me for the main news after the break.
Coming up, main news and weather report. No matter where you are, you always want to go back to where it all started. Following their footsteps to the most fascinating destinations in China. Find out about the varied cultures and what it means to be a Guangdonger. Leisure Time, tracing origins around Guangdong. Tonight at 8:30.
After the fall, tough questions were asked. World leaders were forced to rethink modern capitalism. For Wall Street bankers, good days were gone. But one question remains. Is this financial meltdown going to haunt us forever?
We know the financial industry is spending.
Meltdown after the fall.
Tonight at 9.
Be cool. Keep updated with the international music scene. Warner Music Power Station. Thursday night at 10.
When it comes to weather, you know it's accuracy that matters. Weather report, tonight at 7:55.
Ride on the buses at MTR for $2. Save money getting to work. Do more volunteer work. And watch more Cantonese opera. Now you can go farther and visit the outlying islands by ferry for just $2. From March 3, the elderly and eligible persons with disabilities using designated octopus can travel on ferries, buses, and the MTR for just $2 per trip. For details, please visit the Labor and Welfare Bureau's website.
山美，水美，人更美。走遍大地神州，最美多彩贵州。 爽爽的贵阳。
Good evening. you're watching the main news on ATV. I'm Hei-Ling Chan.
And I'm Belinda Lloyd. Here are tonight's top stories.
5 people injured in scuffles between striking container terminal workers and security staff.
Government unveils new plans to tackle choking air pollution.
Wages predicted to go up by more than 4% this year. 5 security staff were injured when scuffles erupted with workers at Kwai Chung Container Terminal today, following a strike over a pay dispute.
Workers complained that their wages haven't kept up with inflation and are demanding a pay rise. Bo Leung has more.
There was pushing and shoving when scuffles broke out between security staff and striking workers at Kwai Chung Container Terminal. Security tried to stop the protesters from breaking into Pier 6. 2 security staff fell to the ground in the chaos. Over 150 container terminal workers went on strike this morning demanding a pay rise. They staged a sit-in and blocked container trucks from going in and out of the terminal. Lorries had to take other routes out of the port. Workers and the trade unions that back them feel that their wages have not kept up with inflation. They complain that they have only received 1 pay rise in 15 years. The protesters are unhappy with a proposed 5% salary hike and are demanding to meet employers to discuss it. Workers who get over $50 an hour right now are demanding their pay be increased to more than $60 per hour. The Labour Department has offered to mediate the dispute, but the unions are not ruling out further industrial action. But this afternoon, port operator Hong Kong International Terminals denied that the strikers are employees of the company. Managing Director Jerry Yim claimed that they're instead staff of the 30 contractors it hires. He stressed that the dispute is out of his hands and should be between the contractors and its workers. Yim added that over the past 2 years, HIT has increased pay to contractors, so they should pass that on as salary hikes to their employees. HIT is also accusing striking workers of trespassing and deliberately blocking traffic. Yim condemned protesters for barging into the port and breaking safety rules, endangering themselves. He said their action disrupted port operations and prevented containers from being transported into Hong Kong. HIT said it's contacted the police and marine department to follow up on the matter, and measures are in place to ensure smooth operations. Bo Leung, ATV News.
The government has unveiled its blueprint for tackling Hong Kong's worsening air pollution, saying it's a public health issue.
But green groups are worried that the government is putting development before conservation as it tries to tackle the city's need for more affordable housing. Arthur Akila reports.
With the government under pressure to take concrete steps to improve Hong Kong's worsening air quality, protesters from green groups gathered outside government headquarters today. They're worried that conservation has taken a backseat to development and tackling the housing shortage. Green groups feel that environmental concerns have been brushed aside, with the administration eyeing reclamation projects and converting green areas to living space.
When the Environmental Bureau is doing something good, but at the same time the Development Bureau doing something bad. So we want the government to have some better cooperation, and I think that the scope of the project of some infrastructure should be reduced or choose some of the important one, but not all, so that this can reduce the air pollution.
The protest came as the government unveiled its blueprint to tackle air pollution. It's the administration's clearest plan yet, outlining the way forward by strengthening cooperation between different government departments, like the Food and Health and Transport and Housing bureaus.
This time, the blueprint is really to have a kind of comprehensive and clearer articulation of all these initiatives. And through closer inter-bureaus and departmental collaborations, with greater effort and resources input, we can carry out or push those initiatives in a more effective way and also in a quicker pace.
By our collaboration across bureaus and departments, we will have the opportunity to maximize emissions reduction gains. from the early stage of planning. So I think this is very important.
The Environment Undersecretary added that it's not just about protecting Hong Kong's ecosystems.
We're making a direct link between emissions reduction and health. Once we link health, it means we must try our best to do as much as we can to protect the risk of Hong Kong people.
She said there are also plans to strengthen cooperation with the mainland.
In terms of national policy, I think you're all aware that this is now, air pollution is now a very major national priority. And I think from a national level, they're definitely interested in the PRD region, which includes Hong Kong, Macau, and Guangdong, to collaborate together.
The initiatives include tackling emissions from traffic and factories on both sides of the border. Arthur Akiola, ATV News.
Employees will be receiving a salary increase of 4.4% this year.
That's according to a survey by the Employers Federation of Hong Kong, which also found that workers in construction will be getting an even higher pay rise. Bo Leung reports.
The Employers Federation of Hong Kong surveyed 93 companies in 9 industries for its 2013 pay review and predicted that the average salary increase this year will be 4.4%. Those working in construction will get even more, a pay hike of 5.7%. The Federation is forecasting a rise in salaries for employees in the banking and financial sector of 2.5%. The survey also found that labour turnover in the city averaged 16.7%. This woman said she wants wages to keep up with inflation. And this man claims that whether he gets a pay rise will depend on market conditions. To boost labour supply, the Federation wants the government to introduce measures to help companies stay competitive and benefit both workers and employers. While the global economy is still trying to bounce back from recession, analysts are predicting economic growth of between 4 and 5% year-on-year across Asia over the next 5 years. Bo Leung, ATV News.
Chief Secretary Carrie Lam says discussions are still underway on setting a poverty line and refused to go into details about the controversial issue.
There's been speculation that the government wants to include welfare benefits as income when calculating the poverty line, a move that'll throw 500,000 people above it. Edna Tse reports.
Chief Secretary Carrie Lam, who heads the Commission on Poverty, has dismissed speculation that details on the poverty line will be unveiled today. Instead, Lam told reporters this evening that discussions are still underway, but is still expected to be ready within this year.
We are still engaging the COP members in very active discussions over various aspects of the poverty line. And in due course, the Legislative Council, a relevant poverty committee, is going to organize some sessions to further discuss the poverty line, and we will positively respond to those requests.
Sources said there are heated debates among members of the Commission on whether the line should be set at half of the median income. And there are mixed views on proposals to include welfare benefits such as public housing as income when calculating the poverty line. This would move at least 500,000 people above the line. An academic said some European countries do take into account